Hey there, welcome to step two. My name is Jeff Boyle. I'm a realtor in Southwest Ohio, and this is step two of the home buying process video series. So today what we're going to talk about is choosing your real estate agent. And I can't emphasize enough that not all agents are created equal. All right. And choosing the wrong one could cost you thousands of dollars, and it might even cost you a dream home. So, in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about how you should go about finding an agent, and what you should expect from your real estate agent once you hire them as they're working on your behalf. So, this is why this is so important. Your real estate agent is more than just a door opener. There's so much more that they do. They're a guide, they're a negotiator, they're your market insider. They're all things real estate related for you. They're going to help you do so much more than just open doors, especially in a highly competitive market like today. The right agent can make such a huge difference in winning or losing that deal or getting a really good deal on the house that you're buying. So choosing the right real estate agent is one of the most important things that you need to consider and do correctly during this home buying process. So quickly, let's talk about what to look for in your buying agent. So this is extremely important. First of all, you're going to look for a full-time agent. About 80% of our industry is part-time, so they're working another job 30, 40 hours a week. You're not their number one priority. Their other job is. They're not going to be available whenever they need to be available. They've got another job that they're working and other responsibilities that they have to do. So you need to ask them, are you full-time? And the second thing you want to look for is they need to be closing at least 15 to 20 houses a year. You know, if they're not closing 15 to 20 houses a year, I can pretty easily argue that they don't have their thumb on the pulse of the market, right? Why 15 to 20? Well, when an agent's doing business on a regular basis, they've got sharper instincts. They know what to look for. Their strategies are typically better, and they're going to get you better results. They've built better relationships, which leads to the number three thing is you want an agent that has built extremely deep relationships with lenders, appraisers, title companies, other real estate agents. Believe me, there are all kinds of times where these relationships come into play in a big way during transactions and during negotiations. So at a minimum, you want those three things. The fourth one that you should consider is, do you want to work with an individual agent or do you want to work with a real estate team? And the reason I ask that is a real estate team, if run correctly, can typically provide a much better experience than a single real estate agent. And here's why. It's just simple. People can't be in two places at once. So if you are working with an individual agent and you want to go see a house and they're out showing houses to somebody else, they can't get there. If they're on vacation, you'll lose your agent for a week. There's all kinds of examples I could go over. If you're working with a team, you're hiring 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people all for the price of one. And if somebody goes on vacation, typically that team's going to have someone cover for them. So you've got an agent you can work with that week. If there's something going on and they're at a birthday party, they can probably get it covered. So you can go look at something. So there are a lot of big advantages for teams that are run correctly. So that's something for you to consider when you're hiring a real estate agent is, do you want an individual agent or do you want to work with a team? If you decide to go the team route, you just need to ask how that team works and what the expectations are. And they should, if they're a good team, be able to explain to you exactly how it's all going to work. So the next thing we're talking about is when you're hiring your real estate agent, one of the things you need to ask them is what all do they do to go and find houses for you? If they're just going to put your search criteria into their MLS system and then send houses to you as they come available, you're fighting with everybody else. So you probably need to find another real estate agent. By all means, they should be doing that, but there's a bunch of other things they should be doing. And they should be able to convey that message to you that, listen, if you decide to work with us, we are going to do this, 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 and this to help you find your home. So a list of those things might sound like door knocking in the neighborhood that you want to be in. Yes, we still go and door knock. Walk up to a door, knock on it, ask the people if they thought about selling. There are people that are living out there that have thought about selling that have not raised their hand yet. We will help find those people for you, or they should help find those people for you before it goes on the market. So then maybe you don't have to get in a bidding war, right? Tapping into their database. So look for pre-market opportunities. So if your real estate agent is doing what they're supposed to do, they should be building up a database of people that they know that they can reach out to and see if they know of anyone that's thinking about selling before it hits the market. So that's where you can hopefully find some pre-market houses that you might be able to buy. And if they've built good relationships with other real estate agents, again, they can reach out to those real estate agents and see if they have anything coming up that hasn't necessarily hit the market yet. Relationships are a really big part of this business. So you want an agent that has built those deep relationships that we mentioned earlier. Postcards, emails, text. We call it prospecting, but realistically, it's reaching out to people and asking them, do you know of anybody that's thinking about selling a house? Right? Email marketing, send out flyers, send out postcards. When you're door knocking, handing out those things. So we are always looking for houses for our buyers in so many different ways. Another one is calling into neighborhoods. If there's certain neighborhoods that you want to be in, we'll make phone calls into those neighborhoods and see if we can find somebody that, once again, has not raised their hand and put their house on the market yet, but they're thinking about selling their house. That's a house. If we find that, we're going to present it to you before it goes anywhere else, and you got first dibs on that house, right? And then for sale by owners, we talk a lot about this. We call them FSBOs. So those for sale by owners, they've raised their hand saying they want to sell. If you run into or drive by a for sale by owner that you're interested in, all you have to do is take a picture of that sign and the address and send it to your agent. And your agent should go and call them or knock on their door and have a conversation with them, check out the house, make sure it's actually something that you want to see so you don't have to waste your time. So for sale by owners are a big part of what we do. And then new construction. If you're thinking about new construction, oh my gosh, I can't emphasize enough that you need to talk to your agent that is experienced in new construction to help you through that. That is a long, drawn-out process where the builder has hired somebody to represent their best interest. The right real estate agent in new construction can do wonders for you. So your agent should be able to clearly convey to you all the different things that they're going to do above and beyond the multiple listing service to help you find your next dream home. So the next thing I want to talk about real quick is you should expect to sign a buyer representation agreement. In August of 2024, this became law, and we as real estate agents are no longer allowed to show anybody a house in any circumstance without having some kind of agreement in place. There are multiple different kinds of agreements. However, let your real estate agent sit down and explain to you what's in that buyer's agreement and how it benefits you as the buyer. The number one way that it benefits you is loyalty. They have to be 100% loyal legally to you once you sign that buyer's agent agreement. But there's a bunch of other things that they need to go through with you. And a lot of those are actually good for you as the buyer, but you got to understand them and know that no agent is going to be able to work with you without you signing one of those. There are big fines, at least in our MLS, if we are showing houses without those things signed. So just understand that's still somewhat new. A lot of people don't know about it, but that's just the reality that we live in today. We have been using these things for years. And we truly believe that they're in the best interest of you as the buyer, because that forces us to sit down and explain to you how this entire process works, what you should expect from us, and then that document is going to hold us to those expectations. So next, when you're considering hiring a real estate agent and trying to think about what you're looking for, you got to figure out what sets that agent apart from everybody else, right? So I'm going to give you some examples of different things that we do that other agents may or may not do. We sit down, or your agent should sit down and do an in-depth strategy session with you. It's not just run out to a house, write an offer. you really should sit down and look at all the different situations, look at the scenarios, and see what is the best situation for you, where this house might be, why it's located there, what is in the house, like what are you looking for, what your criteria is. There's a lot that goes into buying a house, and it's a big decision, so you want to make sure you get it right. Off-market opportunities and off-market hunts, like off-market properties can be fantastic for a buyer. So what I'm going to tell you is if your real estate agent is not looking for off-market properties for you, you probably need to find another real estate agent, okay? Again, don't just let them rely on the multiple listing service. You need an agent that is an expert in negotiations. So if your agent is not doing enough business every year, there's just no way that they have the experience in negotiations to be able to represent you the way that you should be represented. So they need to know what buyers are expecting, what buyers are asking for. They need to know from the list side what sellers are willing to typically concede, what buyers will typically concede to. So when you negotiate contracts on a regular basis, you get to have a really good idea of what the expectations in the market are, which is going to help your agent when they go to negotiate on your behalf. Okay. So step-by-step support from the time that you sign with that agent to the time you move in. They should help you through that entire process, answer all your questions, help you in any way that they can. And then after closing, what are they going to do for you after closing? So that's a question that you need to ask your real estate agent. Do they have a list of trusted vendors and inspectors that you can use and utilize? So what I'm going to tell you is when you go to use an inspector or a vendor, don't go to Facebook and look and ask on Facebook. There's a reason if your real estate agent has built relationships with these inspectors and these service providers and these vendors, if something would happen to go wrong, because nobody's perfect, if something would happen to go wrong and your agent's giving enough business to one of these disciplines, they've got some leverage with that company to go and help get that item fixed, right? If I'm giving 20 or 30 or 40 home inspections to a home inspector every year, and they make a mistake and it affects you in a negative way as a buyer, I can pretty easily call that home inspector and I can tell that home inspector, listen, you guys made this mistake. You need to go fix it or make it right, or I'm just no longer going to give you that business. That's why when you are looking for someone, don't go to Facebook. That's a one-off of those people. Those people may have had a great experience with that service provider, but it's only one experience. They're not giving them business on a regular basis. So there's really no loyalty there. Your best interest is to get that referral from your real estate agent. And then we talked about this a little bit earlier. Closing more homes than other agents, doing a significant amount of business, it is such a big advantage for your real estate agent and therefore for you. I can go on and on for 15 minutes on just the advantages of working with an agent that is consistently closing houses. And maybe I'll do another video on that. But like I said earlier, you need to find an agent that at a minimum is doing 15 to 20 houses a year. If they're not doing that, they're probably not able to represent you in a way that you deserve to be represented. So finally, when we're talking about looking for the right real estate agent, I'll give you some final takeaways. So don't just hire a friend, right? If that friend is doing enough business, interview them along with another one or two agents, okay? Everybody should interview multiple agents and find the best one that fits. Sometimes a really good agent might not be a good fit personality-wise, which is going to cause issues. So it's got to be a good fit business-wise. They've got to be experienced. They've got to be knowledgeable. They've got to be trustworthy. And you've got to have, your personalities have to mesh. You're going to be spending a good amount of time with your buyer's agent, walking through houses, sitting in meetings. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you're going to do with them. So that's one of the things you need to look for. Don't just go and inquire on Zillow and use that agent from Zillow. Here's what I'll tell you. A lot of people don't know this, is when you inquire about a showing on Zillow, it goes to an agent that purchased that zip code. They probably know nothing about the house that you're inquiring on. They're going to have to pull it up on the computer, and they're going to have to look and find out information about that house and get back to you. If you're going to use an agent that knows nothing about the house, use an agent that knows nothing about the house, that at least is extremely familiar with the area. And they're going to go out of their way and sit down with you and show you everything that they do, let you go through that interview process and see how it works out from there, right? So, again, be extremely careful. You should hire an agent after you interview at least 2, maybe 3. Have a list of questions that you're going to ask that real estate agent. If you don't have a list of questions, we've got one we can send to you. So just comment below the word list, and we will send you our list of questions that you should be asking your real estate agent when you're interviewing agents. So free of charge. We don't charge anything for that. It's an extremely important thing to do, so we will give you that for free. So again, I'll summarize. Don't just use a friend. Don't just use a neighbor. Don't just use a friend of your neighbor. Make sure that you do a little bit of research, ask around, interview 2 or 3 different agents, and use that list of questions that we'll provide, or come up with your own if you want, and make a decision based on the answers that you get from those real estate agents. You'll mesh with one and you'll get a good understanding of what those agents will do if you ask those all the right questions, okay? So that's extremely important. You are not going to get the same result from every agent. It just is not going to happen. We see it all the time, okay? So finally, I think that's about everything we need to cover in this video. So if you are looking to buy in the Cincinnati or Dayton area, please reach out to us. Again, my name is Jeff Boyle. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams, and my team covers the Cincinnati and southern half of Dayton markets. So Hamilton County, Butler County, Warren County, and Montgomery County. If you are interested, reach out to us. We'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. If you're thinking about buying or selling, let us know. We'd be glad to meet with you. Before you go, make sure you like, share, or comment this. And always, you can follow us on social media. We are on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest. We're all over the place, because we are here to get the information out for home buyers and home sellers. So again, if you have any questions, put them down below. We'll answer those. Reach out to us. If you'd like that list, don't forget, comment the word list and we'll send it out to you.